And joined now here on set by Clinton campaign press secretary Brian Fallon. Brian, thanks for taking a few minutes. So, couple things to ask you about here. First of all, the statement from Wasserman Schultz in announcing her resignation, she's saying after the convention. So, I mean, you can hear the Bernie people behind us right now. Bernie Sanders has been clear. He wants her out for a long time. Is it your understanding tomorrow when this convention opens, she's going to walk out on that stage and try to give a speech to Sanders delegates?
Well, look, Chairwoman Wasserman Schultz has played such a big part in getting our party to the position where it is today, where we're in prime position to win this general election against Donald Trump. And she's going to play a big role in the months to come, and she is going to be a key part of this 50-state strategy that we've embarked on over the coming weeks and months. So she desires the opportunity to address the delegates this week in some of her final days as DNC chairwoman. And I know that there's going to be some people that probably disagree with that decision, but think of the gesture that she's making in a nod towards party unity today. It is a huge step for her to announce that she's stepping down at the end of this week. There have been a lot of conspiracy theories and allegations thrown at the DNC over the last few months, a lot of them completely unmerited. And in the interest of party unity, she's stepping down today, effective at the end of the campaign. I think that goes a long way towards bringing the party even further together.
But do you think, does she know what she's walking into tomorrow? Because a lot of people are thinking back to Ted Cruz last week, how he got booed by all those delegates on the floor. You got over 1,000 Sanders delegates here. That reaction is going to be pretty intense, probably.
Well, I hope people are mindful of the fact that at the end of the week, she'll be stepping down from this role, which, again, is, I think, given all the work that she's put into building this party over the last years since she's been selected by President Obama to be the DNC chair, I think this is a huge gesture on her part to ensure a distraction-free convention so that we can keep the spotlight on this tremendous ticket of Hillary Clinton and Tim Kaine that are already generating so much enthusiasm.
Bernie Sanders has said today, he said, look, this confirms what I've always said about the DNC. Basically, he says they had their thumbs on the scales for the primary. He also said didn't change the outcome. He's not saying he'd be the nominee today if any of this stuff hadn't happened. But when you look back at the primary process right now and the DNC's role in the primary process, do you now say, yeah, that wasn't fair?
Well, first of all, let me just go on the record and say what we've been saying all day, which is there's absolutely no excuse for the email that has come out suggesting that anyone's religion be weaponized against them in a political context. Absolutely unacceptable.
So that staff can be fired?
I get to the bottom of this. The further action is warranted, we should take it. But the reality is that with all due respect to the DNC, nothing that they might exchange on emails is going to dictate the results over and above the will of the people, the voters that went to the polls and caucuses. And by every measure, you saw Hillary Clinton win a convincing margin in terms of the delegates, in terms of the popular vote, in terms of the states won. And that's why Senator Sanders himself is acknowledging that nothing the DNC could have or did do could have at all affected the outcome. That's why I think you've seen Bernie Sanders accept Hillary Clinton as the nominee, endorse her, appear with her, and he has said he's going to work his heart out over the coming months.
And you mentioned, too, Debbie Wasserman Schultz going to have a role with the Clinton campaign going forward. Though when you look at what was going on at the DNC, what's been revealed in these emails, are you comfortable having her aboard, seeing now what happened at the DNC while she was running it?
Look, no one more committed than her to helping defeat Donald Trump this fall. I think she understands the stakes as well as anybody. And we have committed to something that has been a long-term priority of the DNC, which is to build up these state parties, to help with these down-ballot races, make investments in these states that are not the traditional battleground states, but that help extend and build a Democratic bench, down-ballot races, so that we continue to have a good field of Democratic candidates for years to come. We're making those investments. Debbie Wasserman Schultz, as the former chairwoman at the end of this week of the DNC, just like Howard Dean, Tim Kaine, and others before her that made those same investments in those states, they're going to be well positioned to help us lead that campaign across all 50 states.
I saw they say convention bounces aren't what they used to be. Used to be you get 10, 20-point bounces from these things. We don't know the full extent of what Trump got or didn't get out of last week. I saw one battleground poll today that suggested maybe a 2-point jump for him. Hillary Clinton going to get more than that this week?
I think that you said it right. The convention bounces are a thing of the past. The level of ideological intransigence right now and partisan nature of the electorate right now in terms of people being as closely associated with either Democratic or Republican Party is so enmeshed right now that it's baked into the cake. I think it's hard to find that room to grow. But I think what we can do is begin to lay that narrative so that for those remaining persuadable voters, they start to understand the stakes of this election, the contrast that is going to be on display for the next 3.5 months between Hillary Clinton, who believes we're stronger together, and Donald Trump, who, as you heard last week, is talking doom and gloom about the state of the country and has no solutions to fix the problems that we face.
All right, Brian Fallon from the Clinton campaign. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks a lot.
Appreciate that. Going to go inside now, the Wells Fargo Center. Sixers play there usually, but the DNC is taking over this week. Kelly O'Donnell